Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Well, as we get closer to different seasons, right, we talk a little bit about Halloween, of course. I mentioned we're going to be talking Halloween leading up, to, of course, to the big day. But also something to keep in mind, of course, is Christmas and the holiday season right around the corner. And I think one of the most unique things you can get that beer lover, whether it's a family member or a friend, is the beer advent calendar. And here to tell us more about this year's advent calendar is Andy Nita, of course, owner and brewer over at Nita Beer Company. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Derek. Thanks for having me back.
Let's talk about, first of all, how your summer went. How were things at Nita?
It was good. It was. It started to pick up after a few years of different sort of consumer habits. So that was kind of nice, and we got through our peak season, and now we're getting ready for our calendar season.
Yeah, I know you get excited about this. Before we get to the calendar season, though, we've had you on the show before, but for viewers who are tuning in for the first time and meeting you, just give us a history of how Nita Beer Company came to be.
Well, about 8 years ago, I used to be an instructor at Algonquin College, and I was teaching in the electrical trades program. And as a new hire there, I was given 2 courses that no one wanted to teach, and students didn't want to learn. One was electronics, and the other one was instrumentation. And I came from process, and I thought, okay, if I'm going to get these guys interested in something they don't care about, I have to talk their language. And a common language amongst a lot of tradespeople is beer. So a lot of the components that they had to learn about from the curriculum were similar components you would use to actually, make and measure beer. So I started reading a lot of books on making beer, but at a higher process level. And as I was doing that, I was hanging out with my son, and he kind of asked me, he goes, "Dad, if you learn how to make beer, could you make it?" I was like, "Yeah, probably. I mean,
I can give it a try."
Yeah, and then he goes, "Well, if you made the beer, could you sell it?" I was like, "It's possible." He goes, "Dad, you should open a brewery." Next morning, we asked Bridget, my wife, and
she gave you the go-ahead to open a brewery.
Yeah,
that is a long-lasting relationship right there, my friend.
That's it. It's like when they say I do.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The same response you want.
So you started off with how many beers in that first year?
The first year we had about 3 beers, a blonde ale, a brown ale, and an IPA. And from that, now we've got, I think, about 12 different brands available. And
wow.
So many seasonals I can't recall, but we're always fooling around and trying some new stuff, and
Well, and one of the new things you tried is this advent calendar idea. What was the inspiration behind it?
One of our investors, Tyler, he kind of said, "You know what we should do? Let's do a beer calendar." So he sort of planted the seed for the idea, but to pull something together like that would take like a lot of coordination, new licenses from the AGCO. It's really Bridget, my wife, who sort of pulled this all together and made it a reality. And a lot of sort of the great ideas that come from the calendar are all hers as well, like especially our fancy labels.
Yeah, let's talk about those labels. I'm just going to show them off here. I'm going to turn them over to Stephanie's camera here so we can have a look. So what are we looking at here?
So what we've tried to do is to maintain sort of an authentic advent calendar experience where every day you get a surprise. Now, if we had sort of the same brand labels that the actual brewers would provide, I mean, you got a giveaway as soon as people open the box.
Right.
And our biggest thing is we want to get these beers out of the cases and kept somewhere chilled, and the most logical place is to put it in the fridge. So in order to maintain some sort of secrecy of what this particular beer is, we asked all the brewers participating to use these unique labels. And so the only information you're going to get on the label is the date you're supposed to drink it, the brewery that it comes from, the volume, and the alcohol percentage.
And I noticed there's a QR code as well. What information does that give you?
So on the day of, we'll actually activate that QR code.
Really?
Where when you scan it, you'll actually get the beer information from that particular brewery.
That is so cool. And you've got quite a few participating breweries right across Ontario, right?
We do, from Ottawa to about as far west as Hamilton. We've got 22 participating breweries.
Nice.
So I'll take this moment to sort of clarify. These are not 24 beers from one brewery. We get that question a lot of people, like a lot of times online. There are 24 beers from 22 separate breweries.
I see.
And they're all very unique to the calendar. So the 2 places you can get these beers beers are in our calendar or at the specific brewery.
So you can't get any of these at the LCBO,
Or
right?
beer store
or
or
beer
grocery.
store, right?
Yeah, very, very exclusive to our calendar.
And also, what makes it unique is the packaging. And I know you've mentioned your family and your kids were a bit of an inspiration to the packaging, weren't they?
Yeah, and I mean, initially when we started the calendar, what we tried to do is to wrap the box in, what would be very Christmassy and ornate.
Right.
And then the kids were like, it's wasteful for something that's just going to get thrown into the garbage or get composted. So we decided that we would give people some options. So the most economical would be to get the calendar in just a standard beer flat, which uses obviously less material.
Right.
If you want to sort of have a full enclosed box so that you can wrap it and give it as a gift, that is an option, but there's a few extra bucks you'd have to pay for that one.
Okay, yeah.
And last year, my wife was making these very fancy beer calendar boxes with little removable lids for each of the dates.
I remember them, yeah.
We don't have any to show today because they all sold out last year, and we're just ramping up to make some new ones. So that will also be an available option for upgrade.
And obviously, available to order online. What about delivery, whether it's here in Ottawa or across the province?
So here in Ottawa, we offer free Ottawa area delivery. We have Ontario-wide shipping for $15 flat rate.
Okay.
Something fun that we're trying this year is partnering with some Ontario restaurants to be pickup locations.
Oh, what a great idea, yeah.
So I think we've got in Barrhaven, Greenfields, in Renfrew we have Ottawa Valley Coffee, and out in Windsor we have the Erie Street Gastropub. As well as you can pick up the calendars at our brewery, and I think Brew Revolution is going to be set up soon as a pickup point out in Stittsville.
Oh, excellent, terrific.
So some more options for people.
And the brewery's open? Are you open for tastings?
Yeah.
Everything full? Everything. I love the big smile on his face.
Come by, say hi sometime.
Tell everybody at home, because you're sort of off the beaten track a little bit, whereabouts you're located.
So we're located around Hunt Club in Maryville on South Colonnade Road. So if you know where the big Costco is, we're kind of in that neighborhood.
Excellent. And the website's very easy, nitabeer.com, N-I-T-A, beer.com.
That's correct.
Andy, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Derek.
Hey, can't wait if my wife is watching. Beer calendar, advent calendar. You know what I'm saying, okay? Do I need to say more? We'll be right back after this.